Today I fucked up by telling my kid to throat punch his bully at school. Actual fuck up happened yesterday at the dinner table after school. After effects of my fuck up have me currently at the getting my son checked out for anaphylactic shock. Yesterday, my kid came home and was obviously upset. So I asked him what was wrong. He's 8, so he still talks to me about this stuff. He proceeds to tell me that at lunch, another kid in his class is bullying him about his peanut allergy, saying that he's faking his allergy and that he's gonna wipe some peanut butter on him to prove that he is faking. My kid says to him that he isn't faking and that could die just from touching peanut butter. Other kid said he didn't care and that he wanted him to die anyway. At this point my kid said that he told the teacher and the lunchroom monitor, who both know about his allergy, and they were able to intervene yesterday. I had a long talk with my kid about doing the right thing and telling the teacher and not letting this other kid make him lash out. Then we talked about the hard part. Now, I'm sure I'm gonna generate some hate with some people here with what I told him next, and that's fine. We are allowed to have differing opinions, but I'm not apologizing to anyone for teaching my kid to stand up and defend himself. After we talked about doing the right thing, and doing everything you can do to avoid a bad situation, I told him that sometimes you have to do the wrong thing to protect yourself, and that should always be the absolute last resort. When he asked what I meant, I told him that if that kid, as long as the bully is only taunting him with words, then he should always walk away, but if he ever did try to put peanut butter on you, then you hit him as hard as you can with the side of your hand in the throat, kind like a throat chop. Then you stop unless the bully keeps trying. Fast forward to this very afternoon and I get a call from the principal of the school saying that my son assaulted another student and needed to be picked up. I asked what happened, and of course they won't talk about it over the phone. But I smiled a little bit because I already knew. I get to school and I see my kid sitting in the office, tears streaming down his face. So I walk in and the principal tries talking to me, but I blow right past her and ask my kid what happened. He says the bully had peanut butter on his fingers and he was threatening to wipe it on his face. Then my kid said that he did what I told him to do and hit the kid in the throat because he wiped peanut butter on his arm. I looked at his arm that was pretty swollen up, and asked him if he was having trouble breathing. Kid said he was fine, just a little shaky. At this point the principal interrupts with her, "Mr. So-and-so, we can't just have kids hitting other children just because they had a little peanut butter wiped on them. Kids do this kind of thing. We are gonna have to suspend him for a few days." It's obvious to me that principal is clueless about the peanut allergy, so I cut her off and asked my kid if he told the bully to stop before he hit the other kid. He said yes. I yelled at him several times that I'm allergic to peanut butter and told him to stop, and he just kept acting like he was gonna wipe it on me. Now the principal has a shocked look on her face. I asked to see the video from the cafeteria, and sure as shit my kid can be seen and heard screaming and trying to back away from his bully. At the point where it looks like the bully grabs my kid's arm, my kid yells at the top of his little lungs, "I told you to stop." Then he grabs the bully by the arm, pulls him towards himself and executes the best clothesline I've ever seen anyone do and floors this kid. Then my kid sits down and starts crying in the middle of the cafeteria. At this point I tell the principal that if my kid isn't allowed back at school tomorrow, I was consulting with a lawyer about the attempted murder of my son. I also said that assuming he didn't have any other ill effects from this, I would be fine not pressing charges against the school and the bully, since it looks like he may have already learned his lesson. Since I didn't get a response and it's been about half an hour since the peanut butter was wiped on my kid's arm, I picked him up and left to take him to the to get checked out. About 10 minutes ago I got a phone call from the school board superintendent saying that the school board has decided to let my kid come back to school tomorrow. #1 kid has a clean bill of health from the hospital. Swelling is starting to go down after some epinephrine. #2 kid got cookies and cream ice cream. #3 I have been invited to a meeting with the school board Thursday afternoon. Will update afterwards. Too long, did not read. Told my kid to punch a bully in the throat. Kid listened and did it the next day and got suspended for defending himself. Principal had no damn idea that my kid had a peanut allergy and was then unsuspended when I threatened to talk to a lawyer about attempted murder charges. This is a proud dad moment. Well done on permitting your son to defend himself. There is a time to walk away and there is a time to clothesline the bully. He did well. None of that's a fuck up. Have the allergy documented. Get a lawyer anyway. Pressure the school board to develop an action plan, a legit one. Not some bullshit lip service, that will prevent this from happening again. Especially true as your kid was threatened with this yesterday. A teacher was involved. And now today the bully carried through with the exact same thing, life-threatening behavior he tried to do the day prior. That's the way parenting should be. Nice job. I'm proud of you and your son. Raised mine the same way and no one fucks with them. Today I fucked up by asking my boyfriend, M28, if he is buff yet. My boyfriend, who is very overweight, started working out 2 weeks ago. I've been away celebrating Chinese New Year with my relatives for about a week, and I kept getting snide comments about my boyfriend's appearance and how I could do better the whole time I was with them, which is why my boyfriend's health was on my mind. I just got back from my hometown. I'm going to visit his family later, so I called him up to confirm the plans and jokingly asked if he had suddenly become more buff in the 1 week I hadn't seen him. He got really upset and said he hated the fact that I'm putting so much pressure on him when he only just started exercising. I tried to apologize and explain that I didn't mean to pressure him, but was worried that I would hurt his feelings more, so I was silent for a bit thinking what to say. He hung up after I apologized, but he was clearly still upset about it. I have to go to his house later, and I'm not sure what to do now, things feel so awkward. TLDR. I hurt my boyfriend's feelings by indirectly calling him fat. Tell him, I'm proud of you, and I was trying to be encouraging and make a joke about how long we'd been apart, but obviously I failed. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Dude. This one stings to read. Hey there, significant other, missed you heaps. Did you suddenly become attractive while I was away? Damn. Go over his place a bit earlier, talk to him one-on-one in the front yard or somewhere away from family, and explain the situation. Hopefully, you defended your relationship to your nosy relatives cause you're obviously with him for more than just physical attraction. Back him, tell him you support him, as long as you actually do, and don't want to pressure him. Ask him what you can do to make this lifestyle transition easier for him. Oof yeah. Imagine if he commented on your weight. Today I fucked up by joking with my wife. This happened a few years ago. My wife is pretty crafty, always making picture montages and stuff like that. One day she made a pretty cool looking shadow box, and inside of it says something like, "The best dates in our lives," and has 4 dates. The dates are our anniversary and the kids' birth dates. I didn't realize it, but here's the foo. I jokingly said, "What about April 16, 2003? I literally just threw out a random date. She asked what that date was, and I just said, "Think about it, you'll figure it out." A couple days later she asked me again, and my daughter was in the room. I said, "You haven't figured it out?" My daughter quickly caught on that I was just messing with wife, and she agreed that it will come to her why that date is important. A couple of days went by again, and wife has the shadow box on her desk about to take it apart. She was crying because she just couldn't figure out why that date was so important that me and my daughter had known about it. We felt really bad and fessed up that it was just a random date and we were messing with her. So now every April 16th, we have a little celebration for absolutely nothing. Too long did not read. Threw out a random date telling wife it was important to our family, she couldn't figure out why and cried a lot. I have a day like that with some friends. On February 20th in a northern state, we were at a Japanese restaurant and a friend tried to say, "It's a cold and blustery day outside." When he translated what he said later, he said Google Translate gave back, "Cold day of rage." So now we celebrate the cold day of rage every 2/20. These accidental holidays are the best holidays. Glad you have one now. It's the day that dad and baby bonded over mom's suffering. The day the kid learned to be careful messing with people even though it's harmless. If this happened to me, every April 16th I'll probably be sleeping in the dog cage. Man, I was ready to read the most insane takes about how your wife should leave you because you are emotionally manipulative and apathetic. Sadly, the "Today I fucked up" community is rational crying. I laughed then awed so quickly. This isn't a fuck up, it's an epic dad move. Today I fucked up by flirting with a partially blind guy who I thought was gay. The title says everything. I'm a 17-year-old male. I'm more of a feminine kinda gay guy, so I have the voice. I can't change it though. However, I don't make being gay my personality. I don't wear nail polish or makeup or girl clothes or stuff like that. I am just a guy who likes guys. To clarify. Not that that's bad, it's just I don't want people to say gay when it's the first thing they talk about, or introduce me as. Well, there's this new student in my English class. Super cute. I mean like 10 levels of godlike, sculpted by the Greek gods kinda hot. So me with all my flirtatious experience I have. Begin talking with him. Well, my voice kinda sounds like a girl, but it has male sounding to it, so I thought he knew. I don't know how to say this, I have feminine facial features. So to this partially blind dude I may have looked and sounded like a tomboy. So, towards the end of class, he adds me on Snapchat. And he begins asking me questions usually meant for girls. Well, in all my stupidity I thought he was being a gentleman. When he pulled out a walking cane I instantly dropped my smile. This poor mostly blind straight man has been flirting with a guy for over an hour. And my stupid self have been flirting with a straight man for an hour. I then explained to him that I'm a guy and I see his face flush and he kinda laughs it off. I'm extremely embarrassed and he messaged me on Snapchat, but I don't know if I'm gonna respond. Too long did not read. Flirted with a partially blind straight guy for an hour thinking he was gay or bisexual. You should look for a partially gay blind guy next time. Bet he didn't see that coming, lol. In all seriousness, I think he seems like a nice person. Even if it's not the situation you were hoping for, he could still be a good friend. Also, who knows? Things certainly always change. I am also a very femme-gay guy. I once flirted with this dude and then clarified that I was also a guy and he busts out, "Oh, I know, I am bi." It was only later that he told me he was never actually bi, he was straight, and he thought I was a girl, but in that moment he realized it didn't really bother him that I was a guy and that he didn't want to stop flirting. So IDK, maybe you should ask him straight up if he's interested in you at all. If so, potential date. If not, potential friend. It's a win either way. I mean, the fact that he messaged you, after you told him you are a guy, makes me think you might still have a shot after all. Give it a shot.